I do believe we are live. I hope.
Oh, we
Otherwise, I
are.
look foolish.
I mean,
Well, I mean, yeah,
Who's
that's
to
an everyday thing for me now.
what changed
Nothing
truly?
at all. Nothing at all. Except that we're live now with a new episode of Disastronauts. Segue.
Magical.
Yeah, I
We all did
tried.
our own weird fucking Power Ranger move there.
Right?
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Fusion.
We all just chose different things to do.
Yep.
But we're back with return. We're gonna jump right back into it. Quick recap. The party of the BD 514 last session went to Apostate, to the city of Night Ark to meet with a contact of Lord Sinjin, a um, lord or some sort of leader within the Golden Legion, this known crime syndicate, to pick up a order of ammunitions order for the Gideron Authority, and deliver it to them on a nearby moon of Voxel. You made your way to Night Ark, where you traveled to Lamashtu's lair, a dive bar slash club. Upon arrival, you were recognized, all of you, by somebody in the crowd, a dark elf, drow, who seemed to be battle hardened, battle ready. Recognized you, luckily, with a check from Arnott. You discovered early on that he had information on you. Didn't know why. You went into the club, and while talking with the bartender to find out where your contact was at, you were attacked by said individual. Uh, a massive scene of chaos erupted within the club, with patrons running and yelling and screaming and trying to get out the door as a pretty much naked goblin jumps out of a box and starts firing his gun. Uh, Hilarity and chaos ensues. A quick and possibly almost deadly battle with Horizon took place, and you had it was interrupted by the man himself that you were looking for, Jarzid, who informed you, who he was working for, wanted to set up a contract, uh, made an offer to buy Mark for quite a bit of sum,
We
quite a sum of money.
mulled that over for a little while. We mulled that because
You
it was
did.
a good amount of money, wasn't it?
It was a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
was
money.
quite a bit.
I
Was it
wouldn't have seen any
400K?
of it, though.
Right.
Something
Well,
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
that's the price I'm willing to pay.
I mean, that's
Right.
yeah.
That's the price you're willing to get paid.
That's
right.
Yeah,
right.
right.
Exactly. That's the price I'm willing to be given.
But in the spirit of camaraderie, you declined the offer, and instead just took him up on the normal offer. He seemed to be disappointed, or at least seemed to indicate that Sinjin would have been disappointed in you guys not selling Mark.
Just hold them out for a better offer. That's all.
Hey, could work in your favor. Uh, but you accepted the order to deliver the goods. While you had a briefer, a little bit longer conversation with him. His goons, he had people go and deliver the order to your ship and load it up for you. And I think we ended with you guys leaving the club, getting back to your ship. Oh wait, you did go to a store and buy some things. You went to
Bought a cooler,
you bought a
Got
cooler.
bead
That's right.
curtains as well.
bead curtains.
Right.
It was important, I believe.
You tried to buy a
for s-
Walkman.
Yeah, for
I
some.
think I did actually.
I think you did. I think you got something. Yeah,
And a
you got
bunch of
some,
junk, a bunch of
Pre-gap.
Pre-gap,
old
yeah.
pre-gap tech. Yeah.
As
Which,
Mark
more and more I think about it, I want that to be a store now. just
zealously
pre-gap.
preached outside
Yep.
the entire time.
Pre-gap. Yeah, no, was actually getting to the I want to start a cult thing. That was an
Right.
issue.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and he seemed to elicit some response
From the
some
worker
nearby droids.
drones and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
I
you
had to
got
send
back aboard the
Aster.
BD 514 and you
Concern
blasted
myself.
off towards Voxel, where we ended with you guys arriving to the small. It's a planetoid moon. I think it is a moon, but it is much smaller than most of the ones you've been to before. And it is just awash in snow and rock. It's far away from the nearby star, and it has its jutting mountain peaks seem to be competing with. You can see from the distance you are at now, um, what looks to be large cityscapes. It's hard to tell from where you're at. You've got to land first. But as you entered out of the drift portal or the drift warp, um, Aster noticed the enormous ship of fleets that seem to be orbiting around this planet. Many of them unrecognizable. Seem you would assume to be for the Gideron Authority, but some Aster you did recognize, which belonged to Fleet King Grig,
Oh, good.
and that is where we're coming into the night session. So you guys have
So
just come out of the portal.
we're looking on as we come into real space.
In fact, as you're looking on, you see one of these ships, not one of the Fleet King ships, but one of the Gideron Authority. Almost immediately, as soon as you exit out of the warp, begin to turn in an alter trajectory and come in your direction.
I'm going to put my hand on Asterisk's shoulder and I'm going to say, before you act, ask yourself, what are the likely consequences of this act?
I
Feel
don't
like-
want to. I don't want to do anything. Actually, in fact, I'd rather turn around. I don't think we need the money. Personally, I feel as though this might be some sort of entrapment thing. We should probably like go now. Anywhere
Wow.
else? Like, I assume there's a parsec nearby that's like really nice this time of year. They might have like a timeshare that we can get into. You know what I'm saying? Like anywhere else.
There are many parsecs nearby.
No, There's
Yeah.
a ship, an authority vessel heading our way already. If we turn around, I'm afraid it'll look a bit suspicious.
I'd.
And we
Listen,
did enter into this contract, did we not?
my
Into
middle
what's-
name is suspicious.
That's the
I
suspicious Rix. Just have
it
to
was a
check.
turn of phrase. What I'm saying is, I recognize a lot of those ships out there, and I don't think we want to be anywhere near any of those. Not only do they have a chance to backfire constantly, some of them explode by the minute. Also, I if they know I'm here, or if I'm nearby, or if someone's heard of me or seen me, or even knows about a goblin that might have white pigmentation in his skin, they might be a little upset.
Asterisks. It will be okay. In a little while, we will all be dead, and this will all be forgotten.
Yeah, this would be the little while. This is like the now. Like I will now be dead if things come to a head. That even rhymed.
Every now that exists has since become the past. This too will become the past.
I don't need this. I'm gonna go hide in the smuggler's hold. If you need me, don't need me. And he'll just briskly walk away.
Did we have? Is it? And he's gonna, I guess, like file through. Is there? Does he have access to what kind of goods are considered contraband and what aren't? As that sort of authority vessel is heading our way.
You can make a
'Cause I don't
culture check if
remember.
you like.
Sure. Is
Me.
this pilot related?
No.
May I
Okay.
make a culture check as well?
Sure.
I like how culture check has become the perception check of this. Like,
Do I
it's
now?
the catch-all.
Well, it's like the knowledge check,
Right.
It is, yeah. They kind of lump a lot of them together into that.
and I actually really like them because that means I get to
Yeah.
spew out some information to you.
Right.
All right. So we got Arnott with a 20,
Aw.
Mark with a 14. Either way, both of you. As far as the Gideron Authority is concerned, the information you gather is that it is a relatively, comparatively, new military. They don't actually own a planet, so to speak. It's really just this military entity. And as far as it is mostly hobgoblin, and it originated with hobgoblins. And they have since amassed. I mean, well, you would know even too, asterisks, that its fleet hit the Gritter fleet is actually larger and more powerful than anything the Fleet King ever had.
Even more reason to be concerned.
But as far as as far as contraband goes, I mean, they don't look for that kind of stuff.
Okay. Still maybe some concern, but not about the cargo.
Do we know what they look for? Like, what is what's their
Are we
ideology.
being robbed?
That's a good point.
Currently,
It's likely.
they are a put it in what I'm looking for a conquering society.
Deus
They
Volt. I get
yeah
it.
they if they can take a planet, they will. If they can take a they're trying to establish their dominance in Pact space.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Arnott, I
Boy.
suggest we make ourselves look as worthless as possible.
Do a pretty good job of that. It's
You're just like, right. And he'll unbutton the top button on his jumpsuit.
Perfect.
I think that's about we're good.
You're-
Around this time that the ship approaching gets within comm range. And go ahead and make a piloting check for me there, Arnott.
Sure. He's also going to muss up.
This
his
would also be
hair.
culture related to piloting.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's better.
You want both? Or
Well,
wait.
whichever one you want to use.
Piloting is my better one.
Okay, easy enough. This is pretty standard knowledge for someone who has worked with ships and is around ships. What is approaching you now is what is called or is considered a sword class attack vessel. It is essentially about 2 or 3 times larger than the BD 514, and it is mounted with heavy anti-aircraft artillery.
Arnott, I predict that our chances of survival in a firefight with such ship is 1.234 repeating percent.
That seems quite generous. Are they hailing?
Is that this time you get a hail? Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say otherwise he'll hail them, but cool. He pulls up the contact thing. He says, yes, BD 514 here.
This is Gideron Authority attack vessel, Falcon. Identify yourselves and your mission.
Dolly E615-R0, member of the EJ Corp here on a delivery, courier mission. And then he'll give the ship designation again. Yeah, and then this is vessel BDE 514.
I am a loading droid.
That's also correct. This is
Can
a
I
loading
help you
drone.
carry that?
Is there any problem, sir?
There, the comms go silent. Aster, you on your data pad, you get a notification that a scan has been initiated on the ship.
Can I find a way to circumvent this?
Make a computers check.
I do those.
Do you?
I do.
Ooh!
How's a 28?
28. So, you get everything here. This is a scan that has been this has been initiated to. It looks to be scanning the cargo and the things that you are bringing. It's trying to find what you have in your like your cargo bay. You can assume that this is to verify that the story that Arnott just gave them is simpatico.
Can I just make can I make it so they can't detect vitals on our ship?
With
perhaps?
a 28, yeah, you can react quickly enough, and you've probably done this once or twice anyway.
That's how I got on
to-
ship in the first place.
Yeah, to ensure that's right.
Yeah, I've
To
been
ensure that the
hiding.
scan only sends back information about the cargo, or at least nothing out of the ordinary in as far as vitals go.
Right.
After about 2 minutes, you are hailed again, and the same voice comes back on and goes, "Very well. Any deviation from your flight plan will be met with sustained anti-aircraft fire. You may proceed."
Wonderful. Excellent. You have a delightful day or night, whichever part of the cycle it is you're in. He'll smile all cheesy. But he's totally going to wait for that guy to kill the comm thing.
Oh yeah, it goes, it kills, and the scan finishes. You don't. I mean, as far as you know, you were successful.
Whenever you meet someone, ask yourself straight away, what are the things that this person deems good and evil?
I imagine they like order quite a bit, it seems.
Hmm.
Yes, people following their rules and not surprising them unnecessarily. He shrugs and I guess plugs in his flight plan. And he will re-triple his efforts to make sure that he is not off by a part or a vector or whatever.
By a
You-
centimeter.
And you would know you were your designated landing space, or at least what has been named for you, is Labor Camp 1120.
Ooh, it's one of those.
That's not great.
Don't like those.
Generally a bad sign.
So you make your way towards your destination. As you descend through the clouds towards the Labor Camp 1120, what you all can quickly see, well, those of you who are up in the who have visible view, those of you in the cargo hold, I wouldn't see any of this. This is a moon that shows all sorts of signs of war and conflict. Blast craters, wrecked vehicles, pockmarked, fractured highways. There are shattered stumps of smokestacks that rise from long abandoned and shut down factories. And there are tracks of hobgoblin war machines that crisscross the countryside. Eventually, though, following your path, you do arrive at the destination, which you can only assume to be Labor Camp 1120. It is a large rectangular compound nestled against the foot of a mountain. It's surrounded by high walls, spiral wire, um,
Barbed wire?
barbed wire, yeah. Uh,
Just making sure.
Accessed by a single enormous gate and protected by multiple guard towers with gun emplacements. There's a flat landing area where several parked vehicles now reside. There's room for the BD 514, and in the rear of the encampment, there is a large carnivorous mine entrance that leads further into the mountain. The camp has several rugged, prefabricated buildings, which include which you can only assume to be barracks of some kind, uh, maybe officers' hall, something like that.
Early
Um,
into their StarCraft creation line.
yeah,
right.
yeah. But it also sports a large collection of plastic shelters, smaller, um, less fancy, less looks like less endowed shelters that look like they provide little protection from the cold mountain air. There are several troops, patrols of hobgoblin soldiers that patrol and around various locations throughout the camp. But most of the population you can see here as you approach seem to be non-hobgoblin. You see there are some dwarves, uh, several humans, strange fly-like uh, creatures, like large humanoid-sized fly-like creatures. Um, Various ages, humans. You see men, women, children of all ages. Uh, and it looks like this looks to be like the labor population.
Do they look like enslaved sort of labor?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. And my other
And-
question was
labor camp was
right.
pretty,
Labor camp kind of like spoils the broth here. The other question I had is, do these buildings seem like they were made recently? Is this like a recent endeavor?
Make an engineering check.
I'm not really seeing. This is more of a
Oh,
John thing, unless I
I
have
can
like
throw one out.
cameras.
It's hard
We
to
probably do
tell.
have outboard
Yeah.
viewing
It would
That
be-
I could,
capability
like,
on the
hack
ship or
into,
whatever.
obviously.
Yeah.
I would say it'd be hard to tell what with everything being snow covered. Um, it looks like the camp's been here for a while.
Right.
Do we know anything about the conflict that seems to have taken place here? Would that be something that
Go
we throw a
ahead
culture
and
in?
make another culture check.
That was a 20.
Very little. Voxel, I mean, this is your first time ever coming to Voxel. In fact, it being such a small, insignificant world that you don't really have a whole lot of information on it. Based on what you've seen, and what you can put together, um, it looks like this is a place that was not always uh, under the control of the Gideron Authority, uh, but has since been dominated by it.
I believe the plastic shelters are where the laborers sleep.
It's probably true. Is
I'm
it-
gonna
yeah.
like calm up from my little hidey hole. Now I assume sleeping on a bed of guns in the smuggler's hold. Um,
I'm. I want to make sure that you understand exactly what you're getting yourselves into right now.
Listen, if we don't do what we agreed to do, we'll be getting into just that amount of trouble with the Edge
There-
Corp, and I'm uncomfortable making an enemy of them.
That's fair, but at the same time, you know how shitty goblins are? Well, hobgoblins are like goblins, but shittier and like stronger. So they're shitty in a way that they can reinforce said shittiness with brute strength.
But I'm not entirely convinced that the goblins I've run into are not the space fairies I've heard so much about growing up.
That's
so-
very true. Wow, you're learning. I'm very impressed.
Exactly.
Strip the body naked and see it for what it is.
Is that
That's against regulation.
do I look do I look deeper into that, or do you have a comm dot? How do you even? Oh, we did.
He's a
we
robot.
did give him a comm dot.
Yes.
Oh well.
One thing else you would have noticed if you have visual on it yourself, Aster, is that there is where the landing pad is. There is one looks like landing vessel that appears to be from the fleet.
do I recognize the ship?
Uh, well, are each ships individually designated in the fleet?
By name alone. And it's mostly whatever the captain decides that day. Generally, he forgets what they're called, so he'll name them something different. But generally, it's like in the same ballpark. So if
Yeah.
it's like, like her mistress, it'll be like her lady or something. you know,
That upsets
her
me.
girl,
All right, go ahead and make a culture check.
Human
would-
woman.
it's a good ship name.
Yes, all aboard the human woman.
Everyone, get aboard the female.
Woo!
It is a 16, unless it deals with piracy, in which case I get additional stuff.
Well, I mean,
Plus one, I
it
think.
absolutely would deal with piracy.
I think it innately deals with piracy.
Yeah.
It does seem to. I think it's only a +1. It might be 2.
Yeah, I think it's a +1. Oh no, it just reduces the check by 5.
Oh,
Wow.
even more then.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, then yes, you would know based off what you know about the fleet. This landing vessel seems to be tied to the one of the fleet ships known as the Junkrat.
I do know that's never changed. They've called it the same thing the whole time. Consistency isn't their best thing, but sometimes they nailed it. Do I know of any of his honor guard that might own
You
that
prob-
ship?
You mean any given time? I mean, you know the size of each of crews of each ship.
Mm-hmm.
This landing vessel. I mean, it could be anybody from the ship. It's hard to say
Right,
who
and
it
they
would land
kind of
to.
like they ping pong back and forth.
Yeah.
So that ship in particular, don't go near it. I'd probably turn your electronics off nearby, or you
Wow.
might get a lot of emails.
I am electronics.
You
Right.
might
so
be
is
fine.
Caesar, and well, frankly, it's quite integrated into my being at this point. I'm not sure exactly how shutting it down and he does.
Maybe run it on
would
rest
work.
mode or something. You know, like
I think
like
that's
low
when I
battery.
sleep. I'm not sure. I'm the battery.
all I'm saying is it might be a problem. That's one of our ships, if you know what I mean.
I do not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not aware either. Are
I-
you?
I have a lot of
And-
explaining to do. It seems.
Are you an admiral?
I sure wish I was. No.
Commodore, perhaps?
I am a wanted pirate by this very large goblin pirate regime. They don't like me very much. And
By definition, a pirate is an outlaw, wanted by the state. You are doubly
Yeah.
wanted by other pirates and the state.
yeah, I'm like a pirate squid, you know.
You
Like
are
one of
a
those.
squared pirate.
I am a square pirate, right? Quite rectangular at times.
I'm not. He's like people shaped. Like
I am adding that to your list of approved nicknames.
people shaped. Pirate
Square?
square.
Pirate square? Square pirate?
Square pirate.
Sure, that's fine.
Excellent.
But the crux of this whole thing is they're not people you want to talk to or show your valuables to or be near or smell for that matter. Be careful. I'm not leaving the ship, and Caesar cannot leave the ship, or they will know what's going on.
Right. He's gonna pull out his like company handbook and start skimming through the protocols on piracy and how they deal with it.
The pyrotocols. I see.
He who fears death either fears the loss of sensation or the gaining of a new one.
I've got a few records here that I need to look over before I decide exactly how to deal with that. But I think staying here aboard ship is best.
Yeah.
Perhaps Mark and I can just sort of, take the next step here, and with, obviously adequate caution. And he's still like scrolling through, like, oh no, it's not it. It's like bathroom breaks, like vacations, sick days.
Men exist for the sake of one another.
So as you're furiously
kinda
thumbing
nice.
through your protocols, you do eventually make your way into Labor Camp 1120. You are flagged towards the landing pad, where there's a spot available for the BD 514, which I assume you land.
If we weren't landed, yeah, absolutely, yes.
Hmm?
Do I need to make sure I don't fuck up the landing?
Kyle's done that enough on his own to know that
That's true.
that pain is real.
You can give a piloting check if you want to. I don't think this is that difficult for you.
See if you can stunt on all the goblins nearby.
I'm gonna
right.
put some sauce on it if possible here.
Oh, yeah.
21.
That's
Oh,
21.
Yeah, you fucking
Yeah.
salt bay that land.
Yeah, right. And saucy landing.
Tasty.
Drowned that landing.
So you swiftly and carefully and almost perfectly land on data pad. Not data. Landing pad.
It's impressive.
Wow, that's like landing on a
and-
dime.
Exactly.
And as you're landing, you can see out your window that there is a small squadron of hobgoblins that are making their way towards the ship.
Right. You may want to go below deck. You're already excellent. You were already down there, I think.
You
or
see him
whatever.
peeking from the smuggler's hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a fucking mole. You also see Caesar dragging that the worker droid from forever ago into the smuggler's hold. And I would like to start making changes to Caesar's head socket to where I can change his head.
It's like a quick release, like a
Right,
garden
so I
hose.
can like
Yeah.
pop a button and it like pops up. And I can put a new head on him like a fucking
Boom.
bionicle.
Oh my god. The quick release heads. That's very good.
Mark has
Very
human
red
blood.
blood.
I have quick release heads. Nothing's weird anymore.
No.
All
Things
is
fucking
standard.
strange.
Okay, so do we have guns in the smuggler's hold? We want to get those out if you're hiding in there.
Oh,
If there
do
are
we?
any in there, we want to get them out. If we don't, then it's all
everything's
good.
in your cargo hold.
Okay, cool.
You have, I think,
Then we're fine.
it's like 50 tons of weaponry.
It was a lot of
Yeah.
tons.
It was,
It was
a lot
probably
of
too
guns.
much then.
It was
That
more
makes
tons
sense.
than I am old. So
Mark's going to go into the cargo hold and play his part.
Excellent.
Okay.
Arnott's
actor.
gonna go to the whatever, the docking ramp or whatever, landing ramp shit. The door to the outside.
Yep. Yeah, no problem.
that's
Uh,
the one.
So you make your way towards your exit door.
Saucy.
There's a
Ooh,
word
a
there. I
space
don't know what
word.
it
I
is, but
like
and
I'm
you can
not.
see already
Futuristic.
immediately waiting for you outside is a squad of 5 hobgoblins, all in full military attire, all but one holding two-handed, like assault rifles, various types. One of them, the one that seems to be in charge, or at least has the further insignia, is holding a data pad and is looking directly at you. She has a scar over one of her eyes and like a double knot ponytail that's very tight going down about to the shoulder length. Um, as you exit, she goes, "Who are you and what are you doing here? This camp is not cleared for civilian access."
I am a loading droid. May I carry that for you?
This here's Mark. We're on a courier mission. Just following through on a delivery. I hope we're in the right place. We have, it's here with the Edge Corp. I'm, Dolly E615-R0, and this is BD514. I hope you were expecting a large shipment. I believe it was to I guess we don't know that it was going to the Gideron Authority people, was it?
You knew it was
We had
going
a
to-
name.
Yeah.
You had Commander Vash.
Commander Vash. Okay, so for
Stampede.
Commander Vash. Mr. Stampede.
Bit of
Right,
a
so
Trigun reference for you.
Just Dash.
So you give her the information about the contract.
Right.
And as you're telling her, she seems to get more and more agitated. As you finish, she goes, "You cannot unload 50 tons of personal armaments here. Just look around you. This is a prison labor camp. Do you think it's a wise idea to put laser rifles and frag grenades in front, a few yards away from the desperate swarm of vermin?"
Processing.
He'll look over to Mark expectantly, like waiting for her.
That douchey turn, like,
She looks like she's looking around like she's like
Just a
judging
moment. This usually he figures these out quite quickly. I trust his judgment.
No, this is not a good place to unload weaponry.
Seems not. He's got protocols to judge these things. Damn it. He says, "Well, look, we were just following the directions given to us by the Authority vessel, which we were stopped by near, or upon entering orbit. They sent us here. Is there a place you'd rather us load and unload or move the vessel to? Anything of that sort?"
She stops for a moment, thinks. She goes, "I am not signing off on this, but unless you could take this to someplace more safer. We have an armory just up the mountain and a couple of trucks. I can spare a few soldiers to drive one of them, but if you want the credit, you'll have to take the other."
Right. How far of a drive are we talking here? Just, to this, up this mountain or wherever, to this armory.
how many kilometers in particular?
Is it kilometers?
Away from me. Where I can control fucking Caesar.
Yeah.
It's in kilometers. Like I'm not.
It doesn't.
certain.
I also
It's
don't know
miles.
kilometers. I don't know why I asked.
In miles, it's about 2 miles.
About 2 miles. That is, just, it'd be like 4K, 3.5, something like that.
I asked, but I don't even know what the range is.
It's probably 5.
Oh,
I don't
it's
know.
2,500 feet.
Oh,
That's not great.
That's not good.
That's
Yeah.
half a mile. Yeah, a little
Wait,
less.
I'm in the smuggler's hold, which is connected, right?
Yeah.
To the.
The vessel.
Well, no,
What?
I'm. I hope so.
Connected to what?
It's
That's what I'm
connected
trying to like.
The storage area.
oh, that would make
Imagine.
sense.
Can I hear
Yeah.
this conversation
Oh
happening?
yeah. Yeah. I would say you can hear this. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I assume it's not a padded.
He
room.
probably has like
Yeah.
a comm
and
open.
BD514 is not a
anyway.
large ship.
Right.
Right.
Got it.
Oh fuck! No, that's
Oh, fuck.
Yes, we will drive the truck.
Yes, I believe that that should be just fine. I imagine we do need the credit for this delivery. It is unfortunate, of course, that they don't have any sort of landing facilities, I assume, where we could just sort of pop over there and set down. He's kind of like, yeah, no.
Unfortunately, not. The mountainous terrain does not bear well for landing pads, unfortunately.
I imagine it's going to be quite a shit drive then. We ought to get loaded and unloaded as quick as possible then. Could we, I suppose, will you be able to bring the trucks around? We'll
As you say
start-
that, she looks to her left and right. She goes, you, go get the trucks. Hurry. And two
Excellent.
of the soldiers take off and go in directions towards
You can't say she's not efficient.
She is that.
Employee of the month for sure.
Labor camp guard of the month.
She gets her face on the wall. She gets better meals.
She gets the good whip.
It's still gruel,
good
but
one,
it's like
yeah.
salted gruel.
Yeah.
Just, got
There's a little
some
basil in
chopped up,
there.
She gets to eat it
trail
with the
mix
whip.
sprinkled on top.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's oops all crunch berries.
Right.
All right.
Yo, I gotta work at this fucking labor camp, dude. Holy shit.
You got a crunch
Pay
berry.
better than
They got
Edge
fucking
Corp.
crunch berries?
No, so I think, yeah, I imagine we wait for them to bring that around.
Does
and,
she just stand there in the hold while
because
the trucks are
Arnott's gonna
coming up?
just awkwardly like,
Nope. As soon as everything has you've settled everything, she says, "I have things to attend to."
wonderful.
And she turns and walks away. A few minutes later, the trucks arrive.
I'm going to, in those few minutes, I am going to pick up an empty box and walk over to the smuggler's
Not
hold.
again. Not
and
again.
knock on it and go, asterisks. I have an idea.
Don't say my name out loud. Don't call me anything else. One of the other nicknames that
Ship
you have.
ferry.
Yeah, perfect. Whatever. Fuck. Fine.
Ship ferry. Would
I
you
guess
get in
I'll
the
go by that.
box?
I don't want to get. Is that the same box?
No, the other box
box
was
was destroyed.
broken. I threw it at the assassin.
I do remember that. Does that have yarrow berries in it still?
No. This
That's just
one
the inside
is,
of your nostrils.
This one is half full of old computer parts.
Wait, are they my computer? Is it pre-gap stuff? Because that's quite important things that I have. You know, they're
I can fuck with
artifacts of
that.
a time long past.
Actually, I could do
I'm just gonna
something.
go over there and look at it, make sure it's his, it's not his favorite choice Walkman or any
It's-
of the cassette tapes.
It is one of your pre-gap boxes. But anything you want to.
We do not have much
the Walkman
time.
out of it.
Well, I suppose I'll leave you with these coax cables in the salt. And he pulls out like the Walkman.
It's like 6 HDMI cables.
Just a bunch of like not great.
It looks like
those
my
3-prong
drawer
it's not
right
even
now.
HDMI cords.
Just
That'd be
AC
too
adapters.
fancy. Yeah, it's
Loads
AC
and loads.
adapter. Oh, God damn it.
And
that's in my
empty
house
floppy
right now. I don't
disks.
need that. Floppy disk. I would love it. Yes. But yeah, he is totally gonna grab out his fucking Walkman.
Was I
which
able to
I'm sure
get
doesn't work.
anything
ferry.
done on Caesar's head? Is that an easy thing to do? I don't really know. I'll leave it up to
Swap,
you.
brains out.
Go ahead and make an engineering check.
Okay.
Is any of the important stuff kept in there?
No, not really. Actually, I think his chip's in his chest.
That makes sense.
19?
Do you feel that with the amount of time that you've been given and the efficiency of your work, you've made something that you think will work?
All right, I will just slam the button and hope that it works and take his head off.
Yep.
And I'll leave
Off
that
that off.
in. I'll leave it in the hammock in the smuggler's hold, just like swaying slightly. And I'll put
Spare
the
heads now. That's
right.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And then I'll pop the what kind of droid was it? It was like a worker droid or something like that.
Junkbot.
Junkbot,
Yeah.
right? Junkbot head, just right on there, and it probably has like 3 eyes down the center. It's got like
Yeah.
weird tubes going.
Half
all
of it's
over
a
it.
different
different
droid's
color.
head.
Yeah.
Half is like a blue gray, and the other is like an orange.
Yeah,
it
that's
looks
good.
like
You have a
shit.
two-tone droid now. That's
Okay.
good.
There's band-aids all
Solid.
over it. And I'll pop that on Caesar, and
All right, ship ferry's fine. Just don't say Aster. Don't say Rix.
Ship ferry,
Say
please
any
get into the
combination.
box.
I think you had like a little bit of a bug in your code there. I don't know what you said. Can you repeat that?
Ship ferry, please get into the box.
That's fine. All right.
And
Yeah,
he'll
yes.
he'll fucking like close off his nose and fucking dive into the box.
I close it up and then replace the rivets that were. That
Oh,
kept it
it's
closed.
riveted. Fuck.
Hey, can you use that
Is
drill
there-
finger to like get me like eye holes, please?
Perhaps yes, air as well. I think
Also
is a
air?
concern.
Yes.
It's like one of those, pet boxes.
You did
Except
them a little
it's
too
riveted
far
shut.
apart. I can't see with both eyes.
I imagine the trucks drive up at this moment.
Well, shame. Unfortunately, we won't be able to make that modification
The
immediately.
ship ferry
but
will not suffocate.
He just slaps the top of the box.
Good enough, I
Shame.
guess.
Right. Well,
And Caesar will walk out and he'll look like garbage, hot garbage. But he's still wearing like sporty attire
Right?
for some reason.
Caesar get a sweatsuit. I feel
He
like
has a
that's
sweat. That's what
tracksuit.
he's wearing.
Yeah.
He's wearing like a sweatsuit.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Adidas.
Good. Excellent. Wonderful.
As you walk out, you see the two soldiers from earlier have returned with two more in the passenger seats, and they all, upon arrival, immediately get out and head towards your cargo bay.
There's 50 tons we have to move. This is going to take some time. Excuse me. This is going to take some time.
Yes.
We have to get on it here.
Yes.
And if there's like a bigger landing ramp or I don't know how the shit, if there's like a trunk opening of some variety, he'll slap that open. But
You have
otherwise,
you have a cargo door.
it's the same. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Then he'll I guess he's gonna pitch in best as he's able.
Okay.
Start directing the soldiers here to do the same.
And it's going to take some time. It doesn't take as long as it did for you guys on when you were getting the yarrow berries. These soldiers are efficient, and they don't stop for breaks. But ultimately, it's going to take about 2.5 hours, right?
Right. They
and as
yearly get an hour break.
and you guys assist in this as best you can. Obviously, Aster is not.
Caesar
Um,
helps though.
Caesar does help. As you're during the process of loading all this up, and you're looking around the camp, you're seeing what's going on. You can see that all the non hobgoblinoid uh, individuals of the camp, the labor force, are just exposed to just cruel and malicious treatment. At one point, you see a hobgoblin walk over to what is like a farming area where some crops have been are trying to be attended to an elderly human male who doesn't seem to be working as fast. Hobgoblin takes a whip out and just get to work faster, faster. All this is going on while you're looking around. It's a very dismal situation for anyone here who
You
is
know, I
not.
gotta say, they're really efficient here. In all the labor camps I've seen in my time, this one's pretty good. Well, not
That's-
good, but like fast.
It seems that they are quite capable of accomplishing a great number of tasks.
Does it
how
feel
many
a little similar for you, Dolly? Just like slightly.
to what? Sorry.
To like working for EJ.
Oh well, this is quite often the life of a loyal employee. He just gestures vaguely out.
Every
Smiles, thumbs up.
every part of the whole conforms to the nature of the whole and serves the principle of the whole.
Right, they're all working for the
Exactly.
whole. That's what they're here for. They love the whole. We all
Gotta
love
Correct.
get that hole.
it. You gotta find more whole. That's the goal.
About halfway through the loading, you hear off in the distance the sound of roarous laughter. Those who can turn and look, you see there's nearby
Turn me, turn the bottom.
there's some sort of animal pen that has been set up for livestock and whatnot. You see a crowd of hobgoblin guards, just they seem to be like they're probably off duty, who are just surrounding this pen and laughing. All right, send in the next one. Let's see if he has what it takes. Uh, and you see a younger, like teenage humanoid individual who gets kicked forward. His shirt ragged and shredded and dirty, uh, barefoot, and he's carrying this bucket in his hand of some kind of sludge or muck or whatever. Uh, and he's resisting. No, I don't. No, please, no, I don't want to. But the guards just push him forward, and eventually he's shoved into the cage. Um, and in this cage, you see there are like several large hound-like creatures, with no flesh, no fur. It's like they're very just flesh, and like long, carnivore like carnivore mouths, just teeth everywhere. And yeah, this is what's going on as you're loading up everything. They seem to be betting and making wagers on whether or not this one will survive.
All right, Mark, can you put a bet for me on this one? Like, go over there and like,
Yes.
like 2,000 credits that the kid's dead. Like he's done.
I will put a bet for 2,000 credits on the child's life.
Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate you. You're doing good work here.
I'm going to go up to the cage and I'm just going to announce, hello, I would like to bet 2,000 credits that the child dies. Hello, I would like to bet 2,000 credits that the child dies.
You see the laughter stops. All of them turn and look at you, look at each other, look back at you.
I am a transport droid. Can I carry that for you?
Pointing at the kid who's gonna die like right now.
Before they even get a chance to answer, you hear a scream from the pen. And it's, no, I don't want to. And suddenly you see a blur of white come by you as the gate of the pen just is blasted open with great haste and speed as this kid comes running out, being chased by three of these dogs. And
Take
they
the bet
immediately
back. Quickly, take the bet back.
I take the bet back. I take the bet back.
With the gate open, these dogs or creatures, beasts of some kind, just immediately go wild throughout the camp, going towards the first individual they see and just gnawing into them, just taking them down. One heads in your direction, or not.
Watch out, Arnott.
Oh, dicks.
I take the bet. The Arnott's fucked on this one.
How many credits?
Give it 1,000. You know, I trust.
I'm running
I trust
back
Arnott.
to the ship while going, I bet 1,000 credits that Arnott will be fucked.
Oh god. Shit. I guess he's going to oh crap. Start like trying to get the attention of the other the hobgoblins in the general vicinity, also engaged in the loading effort. But if he's holding a box right now, oh man. I kind of want to just like, drop it and take a gun out.
There's guns in there.
There are those there.
Have you trained in guns at all?
I've got a small amount of guns.
Okay.
Yeah, but you trained in them.
No,
Have you used
I mean, not super effectively. But I think what he is going to do is, god damn. Yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and try and use his. He'll pull out his like sword, cane, bajeel, and get ready, sort of square up against him.
You drop the
draw his
box. You
blade.
reach down, grab out your sword cane, whip it forward, and stand ready. Just as this giant beast is just charging towards you, and as it goes and leaps towards you, as you go to react, suddenly you hear and a searing hole about the size of a golf ball goes right to the head of this creature, and it drops and slumps to the ground right in front of you. You hear four more go out as all the rest of the hounds are immediately dropped to the ground.
I take the bet back.
He's learning.
You look towards the direction of where these sounds and seemingly lasers come from,
I think yeah,
and you
Arnott's like
see
looking down to the sword and then looking at the hole. that's
exiting
in
one of
it.
the nearby buildings. You see the hobgoblin female earlier you addressed. She steps out along with a smaller goblin individual who is pointing at a nearby series of 4 battle drones that look remarkably similar to Caesar, and then looking back at the quartermaster and goes, "See, I told you, these are the best drones you can get on the market."
Did the child die?
Arnott's gonna
no.
look around.
The credits aren't worth it now.
Affirmative.
You look around, and unfortunately, yes.
The credits are worth it.
Well, at least it seems the child is on the ground and not moving.
Is the hobgoblin matron around? Is like she close to me to make it worthwhile to walk over there?
It'll take you a bit. I mean, it's a nearby building. It's gonna
Okay.
feel like a.
No, I'm gonna walk back to the ship and continue
All
loading
right.
the truck.
I was about to say, if you started walking toward her, I'd be like, no,
Stop,
no. You're
You're like in the box that he's carrying.
banging on the box, trying to stop him.
It's riveted
still
shut.
carrying you. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm entirely at your mercy right now.
Yeah.
Super good.
You're my beard. As long as I'm carrying a box, I am a
Right.
transport droid. Yeah, it's
Truly.
Clipboard, yeah. I belong here.
The quartermaster turns and looks down to the goblin. She goes, "All right, you've convinced me. Let's talk details."
Do I
They head
see
back
these
into the building.
droids?
As I would say, as
Mark.
Mark is turning around, yeah, you do get a glimpse of him.
Wait, hold on. Those look
Stop.
really similar.
I'm
to Caesar.
turn back. It's like hold the box towards the truck.
Mark, a little bit to the left. No. That's right. That's right. My left. Wait, we're facing the same direction.
I'm afraid you may not be super solid on your lefts and rights there, Aston.
I love the idea of you
Space
just see this
ferry.
droid out in the middle of a snowy field going, just directing this box.
Like, yeah, it's 270 degrees back.
No. 230, 235.
234. Yeah.
Calibrating.
Mark, can you perhaps run diagnostics on those? Can you tell me anything about those things?
Do you want me to make my computers check?
Yeah, go ahead.
I could maybe get something out of it too, potentially.
Is there a range on that ability?
Which? The
Yours.
magic
or not?
hack? Not that I'm seeing.
As far as the eye can see.
I rolled a 20.
20. Let me make a roll real quick.
I must pass my hand in the air near the data source. that I'm
It
trying
doesn't
to
specify what
scan.
near is.
It says I don't have to touch it or connect to it, but in the
Gotta be
air
near
Okay.
it.
If it doesn't specify, then yeah, go ahead. And I assume that
Um,
means if you can see it.
I'm not sure what I'd.
What information does it give you?
So as a standard action, I get a general sense of what information is stored on drives or other digital storage media. I'm not sure that it's really the most.
Okay.
If he threw a 20 at it,
Yeah,
honestly,
well,
I can come
either
over
way,
and try and
the
do
amount
that
of
if he doesn't
information
get
that you
anything of value.
Whether through that ability or through what you roll there, Mark. A quick scan diagnostics just gives you that it's it is almost identical to similar design of Caesar. You can see that there is, if not the same craftsmanship, or at least the same design ideas, they're very similar. And based off what you are and what you see, that actually seems to be of a superior design.
Those
Schooled.
droids are a class C38AV combat droids.
And that's
Wait, that's like
a good thing.
higher than Caesar's.
Correct.
Wait.
Caesar is a C36AR combat droid.
Motherfucker, they stole my idea. They stole my blueprints.
Well, it seems they've improved on them a bit as well.
I don't need that. All right, not right now.
Oh, is that not? That's
It's
not
not the
helpful,
time, I'd say. There's time to bully me, and that's later when it's not fucking horrible. And I'm not reeling from the realization that my ideas have now, in fact, helped these people.
Well, I mean, how long were you working with them? I imagine that
I
was.
didn't work with them.
Oh,
I did all this to, kind of off the grid. When when it became on the grid, that's when shit went really bad for me.
Well, that's quite ironic then that they're now have adopted your practices after sort of ostracizing you for them.
And apparently improved upon them.
Soon you will be forgotten, and everyone will have forgotten you.
That's really the worst thing you could possibly say to me right now. That's literally the worst part of consoling that you could do.
I apologize. I am not very good at that.
Do you really feel sorry for what you just said?
No. That
Yeah,
is
I
the
thought
most
so.
appropriate response out of the 2,400 available to me at this time.
You could have chose any of the other 23,999.
Very good. Choosing another. Consider your bath. Oily. Dirty. Disgusting.
You just hear the fucking longest drawn out sigh inside the box.
And as
Thudding
you're having
against
this
the side.
His head knocking against the box.
Arnott, you feel a
Sorry.
like a tap on your shoulder. You turn and look, and there's a hobgoblin guard standing right in front of you,
Oh my
right,
God.
right beside you.
He's probably just holding his sword up in between them, like not like pointing at him,
He
but just
puts
like.
a finger to his mouth.
Sorry, what?
Word is you're all transporting guns and grenades. Sure would be a shame if that was to end up in the hands of the resistance. And with
well-
that, we're gonna take our break.
Nice. Nice. All right, guys. We will be back in about 15 minutes. Enjoy the break video.
14 minutes, 35 seconds, 17
Mhm.
parsecs.
Parsecs is distance.
I don't know distance or.
In the book, as they're printed, a lot of the classes kind of have a narrative concept that's sort of directly associated with them. How important are those to you as a DM? How much do you like your players to stay in those lines?
Well, I think that the main thing to look at is what kind of game you're running. Because if you are, we go back to the combat versus narrative. If you're in a game that is mostly combat, it probably won't even come up. You're not going to have the issues of going against your patron. Whereas if you're in a role play game, I feel like there's a lot more opportunity there for those conversations to be had.
I guess, yeah, we're saying patron, and I'm sure everybody's sitting here thinking warlock or whatever. But in my mind, when you say, the characters that get their power from a divine entity, I lump in clerics, paladins, druids frequently as well. I would say that those are probably, or at least traditionally, those would have been the classes that also had that kind of connection.
I would address it if you're going to be any class, because there are other things that can be applied to certain classes. For instance, in my game, a wizard, a particular wizard, is drawing a bulk of their power from their spell book. That is a source that can be removed from them, and it can be done with any class basically if you're going that flavor route. The main thing is that there's an understanding between the players and the DM that it is a possibility, if everyone's in agreement, that if you go against your patron to where that's where you get your power, that things could happen.
As a DM, I tend toward saying, like, if you as a player are interested in exploring that relationship, and then also kind of handing me the power to yank the cord on your class features at will, essentially, if you don't do the things that you've established the entity you're obligated to wants you to do. But I don't like doing that to players unless it's very clearly established, I guess. Yeah, like you're saying, that's the way it's gonna work. Because I tend to not make warlocks as a player, because a lot of DMs will do things to warlock players that they would never consider doing to anyone playing any other class, because it says in the book that you have to interact with this entity. I see classes as sort of a mechanical skeleton that you are supposed to tie your sort of like whatever narrative concepts to. But there are going to be DMs who say, no, you're a warlock. This is how warlock patron relationship works every single time, because that's what a warlock is. That's an integral component to the nature of the class. And I don't think that that's wrong. I would argue with that DM. But they aren't wrong. It's just a difference of opinion.
For instance, in my game, that is most definitely a thing. We just finished a little sub arc where the warlock, who was becoming quite griefed at the aspect of being evil and being subjected to this patron, this deity, and their soul not being theirs and whatnot, they went through some sort of inner conflict and came out the other side thinking that, hey, I need to redeem myself. So I allowed that. They went on a little sub campaign to redeem the warlock's soul and to pledge themselves to a goodly deity. And it was a long process. It was fun, but story-wise, it made a lot of sense. And role play, it gave a lot of interactions, a lot of fun role play in there, and no one's feelings are hurt because of the taking of the power from not following in the line. You have to be willing to be malleable with certain of these situations like that.
Right. I think it can be a really fun element to a game to have this sort of struggle back and forth between, you as an entity who's been given this gift of power, and then the thing that's giving you that power, trying to keep that relationship in check when you're clearly, you could just be wiped off the face of the planet at the snap of a finger. Like it makes, that happens a ton in, the procedural TV shows, shit like that. There's all sorts of situations like that do foster drama very well. But I find myself frequently frustrated if I was thinking that I was just picking a couple of class features because it helped me achieve this other narrative concept I was going for. But they're like, oh no, now you're indebted to this other entity. Like, it's like, well, I don't want that really.
There's no wrong way to go about it. If that's not a thing in your game, that's fine. If it is a thing, that's also fine. It just, as long as everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. Right.
Just the main number one thing is just to address it up front and be on the same page with your DM and your players, saying, hey, this is a thing that can happen. And if that's not something that you agree with, and if that's not something that you want to have to deal with, there's no shame in just going to another table.
Well, after that really hard encounter with that terrible beast, I need some new equipment. This looks like a good place to get something. Hello. Can I get...
My name is Cornwall, Snot Gobbler the Fifth. State your business, ruffian.
I was looking for some dungeon equipment?
I will be the judge of that. Kneel, knave.
Kneel? But I thought this was a general store.
Of course it is. All customers must kneel before the great Cornwallis Snot Gobbler the Fifth. It is local custom.
Local custom is to kneel before shopkeepers? The last shop I went to didn't force me to kneel.
I am a special shopkeeper. I am Cornwallis Snot Gobbler the Fifth. Now kneel, or you will not peruse my wares.
Are there any other general stores in town?
No.
Of course not. Alright, I'll kneel.
And kiss my feet. And call me Freddy.
No. Nope. 100 feet of rope is not worth this. Nope. Nope. Well, at least I can get something to eat.
Hello. I am Gregory Smith Bumtackle, the
Fuck.
Create something.
Without delving too deeply into this philosophical alignment debate,
Right.
which is a big deal, I think the main thing is alignment is the word that we use sort of to describe your party's intent, I suppose. My campaign, I didn't allow for evil alignments because it's a heroic setting. The whole thing is that I want all of my players' characters to be on the same page as far as what their overall goals are, and that being to do good. If you have a campaign setting where it's the opposite, that's fine, but it's not going to work if your campaign setting is an evil setting and your goal is to do nefarious things, and you have a lawful good paladin on your party.
Exactly.
It's not going to work. The whole point of the alignment system, for what I'm talking about in setting up a party, is to have everyone on the same page. Not to delve deeply into the philosophy of
Right.
every alignment and every character. It's just to keep everybody on the same page.
You're picking teams in the cosmic struggle,
Yeah.
for the universe or whatever. It doesn't, it's as much a faction as it is or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
in older editions of D&D, that was exactly how it was like formulated, basically. And I think it's most effective. The 9-box system is most effective when used like that. But I think that there is, as someone who grew up playing D&D with half the party good, half the party evil, or one person who was like, fuck everybody, we want to do this campaign, I'm making this character. There's room for that kind of game, I think, where it's a little bit more combative. Everybody at the table is there with the understanding that they're gonna be trying to screw each other over and mess up the plans of the party, and that the big bad evil is gonna be one of the people in the party or something.
Exactly.
I think there's room for that, but yeah, like it's very important that everybody's on the same page still, because you can, those imaginary conflicts and slights can become real conflicts and slights very quickly.
Very much so. I feel like that is before you get started, that's like a pre-session zero sort of
Yeah.
conversation. Put everybody on the same page. Let everybody have an understanding of what they're okay with, what they'd like to do, and what is tolerable. Because you've got a spectrum of the player versus player conflict, whereas on one side, pranking and playing and sort of a little, conflict or whatever. On the other side is straight up PvP.
Right.
And in my book, I'm okay with the spectrum so long as it fits thematically. Like, if it makes sense, if it feels good, not just to say, hey, I want to kill this guy because I don't like him, that doesn't make sense. I mean,
rogue, so I'm gonna steal everybody's loot.
Yeah, it does.
I'm-
That
oh,
just
I'm gonna kill
doesn't
you 'cause
work
I'm a
for me.
barbarian. Like, well. But if there's real conflict and strife that leads to fight, and then obviously everybody, both people are interested in pursuing that shit. Otherwise, if you got two people who are actually like have some real life conflict that they're acting out in the middle of your D&D game, that's usually not a fun situation for anyone. So yeah, I think that's the thing. It's just if everybody's on the same page, I don't think there's a wrong answer personally.
everybody just needs to know where they stand before you get started. You don't want to find out, you know, a couple months down the road, however many 8 sessions down the road, that, oh yeah, this guy over here is going to be doing bad things,
Like,
and
by
you're
the
not
way.
prepared. Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
prepared for that. There's no wrong direction if everybody's on the same page.
Right.
Welcome to Bid Seed's General Store. We have the largest selection of fantasy-based items on this side of the Greater Dandaris River. Why don't we go inside and check out what I have for sale? Let's go. We are now inside Big Seed's General Store. Let's see what I have for sale. Well, this sure looks like a fine selection. We have bananas, onions, dragon eggs, pajama pants, occult statues, daggers, dangerous animals, socks, small figurines, real fake daggers, diplomas, drink koozies, hammers, potatoes. Well, that's just a small bit of our inventory. So you should do yourself a favor and come on down to Big Seed's General Store, where we will treat you like you want to be treated.
And with that, we're back.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Hi.
We'll talk about it later, John.
yeah, we'll bash that supernatural discussion out.
So we return back to the crew of the BD 514 as you feel a tug or a poke or a tap on your shoulder. There are not. There is a hobgoblin guard or some military officer of some kind who has approached you, giving you a little bit of a wink and a shh, and said, "Word is you're all transporting guns and grenades. Sure would be a shame if it would end up in the hand of the resistance."
Yes, because I'm not certain that we'd have fulfilled the terms of our agreement with, oh god, the person we're delivering it to, Commander Vash. That was it,
Stampede.
right? Mr. Stampede.
Make a perception check,
Okay.
or anybody nearby who can see him.
Okay.
Mark, can I see him?
No.
I can't make a perception check. Sorry.
Oh man, I'm not good at these. Hey, that's not a bad roll.
I'm pretty good at him. It's kind of my deal. If I can figure out which button to push. Come on.
I'm gonna grab
Perception.
from the far right box. There you go. You got it. Look at you go.
Okay.
Still less than you.
You're a motherfucking star.
Your vote, other than looking, I mean, he appears to be a very battle hardened hobgoblin warrior type. But something seems to be off. Like every now and then, you could swear you could like almost kind of see through part of him, as if something fishy's going on.
Can I roll either a mysticism or medicine check?
I was gonna say, yeah, computers or something to see if it was a tech-based deal. But yeah, if there's some sort of other check to be familiar with this, the the phenomena here.
Yeah,
You can make
mysticism's like magic and shit.
yeah,
Right.
go ahead and make a mysticism check.
Sure.
And if you want to make a computers check, you can make that instead or not.
I guess I'm a little better at that. Doesn't matter much when you roll
You're
one. Though.
incredible at it.
Yeah.
Pretty good at computers.
It's a nice Walkman I got though.
Yeah, everything seems to come back. You don't detect any sort of tech going on right now, or not.
He just like smacks his head and assumes that some weird implant glitch is occurring.
Yeah. Mark, with a 20, you don't necessarily sense that there is any sort of otherworldly thing going on here, but there does appear to be. You can you can sense that the biometrics that you're kind of picking up from this individual don't necessarily match those of a hobgoblin.
Excuse me. According to my readings, you will take 54 days to expire without food or water. This is 300% greater than average for a hobgoblin. Please
I've never
explain.
heard him say more than like
Yeah.
14, 15 days.
I mean,
Quiet box. Smack.
You see him glance around quickly and back to you, or not. Your droid's a bit defective, don't you think?
Yes, I do. But he raises a fair point. I mean, he's gotten that question. He's very good at estimating the amount of time you'll live without a certain resource.
At this point, he kind of hits you with the butt of the rifle, and goes,
"Oh dear!
All right, fine. Let's check out the rest of your cargo hold. Make sure we got everything.
Is
Follow
it like
me."
a super aggressive thump?
No,
or-
it's like a thump, and he's like doing his head towards your ship.
Ow, for starters. Secondly, if you wanted me to follow you, you could have just asked.
This box is not part of your inventory. Please
true,
do
it's
not
not.
check it.
You hear a slight thump as his head hits it again.
It's just got my old Walkman and several tapes and things of that sort. I like to keep them close by in case anyone's trying to steal them.
Somewhat of a runman at this point.
I am a loading droid.
We do follow to the inside of the cargo hold or whatever.
Yep.
It is, I imagine.
He begins to look around. And you all notice that he, like, every now and then would look back towards the exit to see if anyone's looking. Walks his way around the cargo hold, finds the entrance to the smuggler's hold, and like, all right, we got to check in here.
Sorry, do what now?
I need to check in here.
In where exactly?
He points at the door.
Oh, is it like an obvious? I assumed it was hidden in some way, shape, or form. If it's an obvious.
Oh, it's hidden, but he knows where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he pointing at like
He's pointing
a
at it, like,
door
"Get it-
or some
I
panel
can't
that
open
slides
it.
us?
I need access."
Listen, I am not able to comment as per company policy about any sort of concealed
I don't give a damn
facilities
about
which
that.
may or
Open
may
the
not
fucking
exist.
door.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can I ask what it is that you're seeking from this alleged?
I'm hoping to get your aid, but I need to talk to you first.
And the smuggler's hold would be the best place to do so without
You're not
being.
supposed to say where the smuggler's hold is. That's why it's called the fucking smuggler's hold.
Quiet.
Fuck's
Fox.
sake!
And he says, well, it does seem that he is aware of it at this point, and I suppose if it is important that we're...
I cannot open it as I am carrying the box of computer parts and nothing else.
It's true. And Arnott will go up to the whatever panel, flip down the end of the shelf and push in some buttons and open up the panel or something, whatever it is.
Right. And you all step inside. As you do so, and the door gets shut behind you. At this point, he turns to all of you and begins to poke press some buttons on his data pad, and this illusion that surrounded him fades. It seems some sort of holographic technology was being used. And before you, which was once a hobgoblin, you now see there is a slightly smaller individual, about the size of you, Astra, uh, a dwarven man. He has like half his head is shaved like to the scalp, and the other half kind of cascades over a little bit down to his neck. Clean shaven, very tightly kept beard.
Oh no,
Uh,
not a clean shaven dwarf.
oh, I'm sorry, not clean shaven, cleanly
Trimmed, well
trimmed,
groomed,
yeah.
Well groomed, well
Groomed. There we
Also-
go, yeah.
concerning, but better.
Yeah. He appears to be dressed in some sort of battle attire. Um, and as the illusion faces, look, my name is Vogue. I'm part of the resistance here. You can see what's going on here, don't you? Voxel used to
Yes.
be a peaceful world of miners and families. The authorities, they've come on some trumped up excuse, and they're not going to stop until we're all enslaved or dead. We want to fight back. But hunting rifles is no match for the hover trucks and those new laser machines they've got. But if one of these
They're
trucks,
bullshit.
I shake the box again.
you got someone hiding in there.
No.
What? No, there's just computer parts in there. They're quite noisy sometimes.
Can I roll a deception check?
Yeah,
And
right.
'cause he
Or a
is
bluff.
rolling the perception.
Perfect.
I was gonna say I can.
Right? No,
let's see.
I can clearly, I could tell there's a voice coming from that
You can
box.
see, you can
What?
see Aster's eye through one of the holes.
Yes.
All right,
Oh,
well,
fine.
yeah,
I
I've
suppose-
come clean. You've got to come clean.
I am perhaps inside and not inside this box. I am Schrodinger's goblin.
Right.
So we've concluded there's a goblin in the box.
There is in
Well,
fact a
there
goblin
may
in this
or
box.
may not.
There
And
could
the computer
potentially be.
parts.
Well, there are definitely computer
There
parts.
both is and is not a goblin.
I
in the
have
box.
cordoned the
But we've
computer
ruled
parts
out
off.
any other sapient species.
Right.
Okay.
It does
goblin.
seem that that's the case. You're correct. He sort of taps his chin and is like looking off
According
like
to
shit.
some philosophies, there is no difference between goblins and computing parts.
That's
Huh.
racist, I think,
Well,
on like a lot of levels.
I mean, anyway,
right,
sorry.
kinda.
So you're a dwarf, not a hobgoblin. I
Right.
don't know if you're aware.
I'm
He's just like, but
100% aware.
excellent.
been on
Not my visual implants.
I'm a bit of a recon fighter here. Look,
So-
we want to fight back, but look, if one of these trucks ends up going to, say, a resistant hideout instead of an authority armory, now we can make that happen. What do you say? Oh, we'll pay you for it.
I'm afraid we've, as I
Oh wait,
mentioned.
listen on that. There's a big thing in life called opportunity, and you right now have opportunity to get paid for this. And by you I mean we, and by we I mean me. We have the opportunity to be paid, not only by the people that want the weapons that we were, shipped here to give weapons to. We could give a few extra weapons on the side to these guys.
There.
I'm not sure that we can, right? I mean, we may not get paid by our, original client if we do not fulfill the terms of the
Well,
agreement we entered
Terms
into.
are like they're like terms. They're
They are.
changeable.
That's
And by changeable, I mean I can slightly alter how many weapons are going to them on the docket itself. And then maybe those weapons that, don't really exist because, you're not supposed to get them are going to resistance fighters.
I would
I would
possibly
very
be.
much appreciate that.
See, he would very much appreciate it.
He kind of just looks the other way
Monetarily.
and holds out the data pad that the manifest is on or whatever, and he says, "I mean, if that is in fact, I have not checked the manifest in some time. Perhaps I was mistaken about the amount of weapons we were intended to deliver."
It was 50 tons.
No, Mark.
Well, it's around 50 tons.
No, the manifest
Perhaps
clearly
Asta
states
would be
50
best
tons.
suited to check. Jesus.
Is it to the decimal mark?
Yes.
Is it to the decimal?
5 significant figures of zeros.
That seems
Mark,
like a
what,
really inefficient filing.
what if I told you that perhaps on your course to creating this following of destitute droids that you're looking for, maybe the money would help you in pulling a bigger following and perhaps getting the word out to a larger audience.
There
And-
goes a philosopher without a coat.
I don't know what that means, but I'm going to assume you're agreeing with me.
Not
And that I'm going to
exactly-
tell you that maybe, just maybe, it's 49 tons.
I have no
weapon.
bread, but I still remain faithful to reason.
See,
Look,
I'm not sure.
Whatever it is you owe your company, we'll pay that. Now, I can't say we'll have a whole lot left over to pay the lot of you, but whatever obligations you have to your company, we cover that. Just, we need to help, please.
Change is never bad.
Well,
Right, so I'll change the number.
I mean, that would be in direct violation of company protocols and policies.
Right,
But
I will hypothetically change the number.
if perhaps that were to occur and there were no obvious evidence of such an act, then how would I be aware of it? But that's hardly the point.
May I
What
try
I
this
would-
while he's talking?
Yeah, he's...
So you're trying to alter the contract?
I would like to alter the contract.
All right. go
Pray
ahead,
don't
Pierce.
alter it further.
Pray.
He says, and then he's gonna, while that's going on, he's gonna ask him, is there like a place, some sort of coordinates that if we are successful, we would be able to leave or deliver this truck to?
Absolutely. Look, the part of the destination is going to be the same, right? All you got to do is when you get to the Mount Winter Peak turnoff, you take the turnoff. That's it. You see an old
Right.
cabin off to the side of the road. That's where we're at.
That could
Wonderful.
implicitly, tell them that we gave you the weapons, though. Could it not be maybe some weapons fell off the truck at that turnoff and you have some goons up there that can grab them?
If we
That
were to
doesn't
find
seem like a bad
ourselves
idea,
turned
honestly.
around and lost, on our trek up the mountain,
Right.
as being new to this, who's to say what happened? Perhaps we need to stop somewhere to check our,
We all have to
regather
piss.
our bearings. Yes,
I do not.
Jeez, that's
We, two of us have to piss. I mean,
not
one of us,
helping
because I'm
very
not
much,
here.
Mark.
Someone has to piss, and we got to do
Right.
something about it.
Time is
So-
a river.
And so is my bladder.
of piss, I believe.
Yes,
we've
quite likely.
established.
That is exactly what that is.
So, perhaps then you might, if we do find ourselves with extra cargo to deliver somewhere that is perhaps not already promised to our original client, then we will certainly find our way to that cabin.
Are not.
Mark.
We have extra cargo. The manifest clearly states that we are to deliver 48.00000 tons of guns. Currently, our ship holds 50.00000 tons of guns.
Well, how about that? He just puts a hand on his hip and shakes his head. It's amazing,
Thank you,
really.
Jamaica. You
Yeah.
are good people. I appreciate it.
No,
Your
we're not.
assistance.
Negative.
We are quite
We're people at
realistically
best.
profiting from both sides of this.
As Epicurus said, you are but a soul propping up a corpse.
Exactly.
He said that. He sure did, and so did Mark. So technically, Mark said that.
That's a good point.
Mark, you
But
really
that
are a
said,
philosopher.
Perhaps we ought to get back out to the crew. They will be, no doubt, looking for us and may, in fact, even be nearing the end of their labor in loading up the ship or the trucks and all that.
Hey, on that, quick favor.
Ship ferry.
You don't have to do it. You could drop that when we're in here. Do you think perhaps part of this payment could be a little bit of information on those Caesar-like droids for me?
Oh, by all means, he can just kind of like gestures towards you, and I mean, ask away.
His little
I'll find
eye.
friend here.
Do you know anything about those droids at all?
Droid
He's still in the box.
C38AV.
That one. Yeah, those ones.
Right. Admittedly, I don't know a whole lot. They've just arrived today, but I've seen what they can do, and quite frankly, I'm terrified for my people.
Yeah, I'm terrified for my livelihood. Like, I made that. You know, those are mine. So technically, my intellectual property is out
Then
there
you
right
will
now
know how to
shooting
stop
holes
them.
in
Maybe you
beasts.
can give me some information.
It's gonna cost you more. Like a lot more.
How much?
How much you got? Like on you right now?
On me right now. I don't
Scanning.
Have anything.
Can you do that? That's quite impressive.
Mark, you're way more helpful than I thought you were.
I am sorry. All I said was scanning.
No,
Wait.
I can't.
Well, never mind.
Well, that's.
Look,
He's
I don't
figuring out
have
this
much on me,
deception
but if you
thing.
talk to Anya, she'll be able to.
She at this
I'm sure
cabin.
she'll reward you. We are. She's at the resistance camp.
I don't know if we can do a lot.
What if we fell off the back of the truck?
I don't think that's
Well,
gonna
then
be fucking believable,
No one
Mark.
will be able to take the truck where
All
it needs
three
to
of us, the
go.
people
That would
driving
be
the
quite-
truck, just
Yes.
fucking careened off the side of the truck.
If
I
we
don't
managed to fall off the back of the truck, it'd be quite impressive. As I understand, I assume anyway, that the cab from which we'd be driving would be attached to the front of the truck, right?
Correct.
Kind of just like who would be driving? Then
think a Caesar could drive technically.
oh my god, he's right. He just like, well, then I guess that's what we have to do. No,
Oh no.
that's silly.
I
think
He,
we
he,
may.
put- he puts a finger up to his ear and listens for a minute. All right, look, Winter Peak, turn off. Turn off there. I got to go. Slib is coming.
Wonderful.
He
Who's
puts
Slib?
the quartermaster.
Is that the lady, the scary one?
Aye. You see him push some buttons on his armband again, and the hobgoblin form reappears, and he walks out of the smuggler's hold.
Yeah, nothing in here.
He screams from the box.
Quiet box. Smash.
Ship ferry.
Yeah, and he does this motion in the box.
In the
Zips
box.
and slips. No one knows.
Registering a new nickname. Box.
It's wonderful, really.
That kind of works.
It
you know.
does. Would you like to see my box?
That's probably not. I wouldn't say that to people like normally.
I think I may. As
We're
we're
gonna
like, making our
leave,
way
yeah.
out of the smugglers.
We're gonna leave now.
Yeah, just holding
Keep
the
talking
box.
about our box. I don't know. It's
Uh,
a pressing matter.
you hear as you exit out of the cargo hole and on back out into the labor camp. You see Quartermaster Slib. She approaches you or not. She goes, "You,
Yes.
a member of my squad, can drive the second truck, but you'll be the lead in the first, with a couple of my troopers to give you directions. If there's
I'll
any
make
trouble
my-
along the way, they'll know what to do."
Let me just toss a little, I guess, audible your way. How would you feel about us bringing up the rear, as it would be perhaps easiest for us to follow along, rather than sort of lead the convoy when we're not sure where we're going and all? He kind of grins. Do you need a bluff or
Make-
anything?
Yeah, I
Diplomacy?
need
What do you
need
want?
a diplomacy.
Oh, well, I'm not good at that, frankly.
None of us are charismatic, which is
No,
the best part.
not even like a little. Come on. Yeah, that's an okay roll.
Okay.
I'll take that. 16 altogether.
I gotta make a roll for her now.
She's a hobgoblin. How good can she be, really?
She's in charge.
Right?
She's large, also.
I think she's medium, actually.
She's well.
Sorry.
Think about grappling rules.
That's, yep. God. I don't even want to know how they work in this system.
Oh, me neither.
I
No.
didn't even think about that.
I don't have the fucking
I
study.
think not. You'll be in the lead with a couple of my troopers. That's final.
Right. Well, I mean, if we get ourselves turned around or what have you, then I mean, you only have yourself to blame. And he walks off toward the truck that they're meant to drive.
All right.
I'm going to follow with the box.
Caesar will turn to you, idling nearby, and he'll say,
Do you want me to drive, boss?
Oh, I'm actually not certified for heavy equipment such as this, and from your file, as I recall, you are. So that would be best, Caesar.
he's like kind of whispering because he has to whisper from the box.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Got a weird bit of feedback every now and again.
Sorry, my transponder's a little weird today.
And he's
yes,
like knocking
I'll
on
have to
his
take a
throat.
look at that when we get back here.
Yeah,
No worries, though.
And he'll walk to the walk to the truck and hop in.
All right. Before you get a chance to get in the passenger seat, Arnott, two rather large hobgoblins push past you and make their way into the front cabin. One is a female of similar build as Slib, probably a little more bulkier, and she carries a heavy rifle over across her back. And then a smaller male who seems to be holding some kind of shotgun or some kind of scatter gun as well. Also climbs into the front passenger seat, leaving only the rear for you.
Oh, right. Well, yes, certainly. Please enjoy shotgun up there. That makes sense. He is carrying one and all, as he's like kind of begrudgingly hopping up onto the truck.
Did I get into the passenger seat? One of the passenger seats?
There is no more room.
Okay.
Since Caesar was either jumping into the driver's seat.
Cool. So I'm going to get in the back with Arnott then.
Okay.
And I guess that means I am also in the back with us.
Yes.
with the box that Mark is carrying.
This is perfect. The three of us can fall off the back of the truck with 2 tons of guns.
How do we pull 2 tons out of this thing?
I think it may actually be best if it indeed falls off the truck.
Do we push? Do you push?
I am a loading droid. I can carry that for you.
That's kind of true, actually. In this instance, that makes sense.
His thing. That's yes, we can. All we have to do is get Caesar, to turn off the wrong way.
Well, we can fall off when Caesar turns, and then maybe he says something to do with the engines going wrong, and at least 2,500 feet away from me, which is about the range I can control him.
Well, he'd stop working entirely.
He
at
would,
that
in
point,
fact,
wouldn't
stop
he?
working entirely. So maybe 2,499 feet away.
Sure, but I mean,
some engine issues.
There would be a driver issue if he went further.
Yeah, and maybe a careening off the edge of a fucking cliff issue.
Yeah, that's true.
And I
Arno, what is the company policy for accidents made during delivery? Are we insured?
Well, that little poster that he has next to the driver's seat that says, X many days since last
Yeah,
incident.
we'll have to start that.
We'd have to
which is
go to
quite
0.
frustrating. It's been 17, as I understand, or by my count, anyway.
What technically was the last issue? Never mind, we'll go to that later.
I'm technically right now, and if I hadn't done all the back paperwork, it'd be all the unlicensed modifications you made to my ship.
I've never heard of any of that. Never happened.
Throws a fit, and then
have we started moving?
Yeah, as you're having this conversation, you see Slib as she's walking away. She gets on her comm dot. She goes, "Wintergate, prepare for opening. We have 2 departing." And you hear that as the trucks start up and you make your way towards the Wintergate. You hear that kind of as you're fading from audio distance. So you emerge from the labor camp, turn onto a highway, and begin a long drive between towering mountains.
How fast are we moving?
Very slowly.
Okay.
How
It
close
is. These
the
trucks are
truck
made
behind
for
us?
winter weather, but you are going up a steep mountain incline, and you seem to be kind of like making your way between these two rather large peaks. But you seem to be heading towards at least higher up on the one to your left.
Once we're nearing what I can perceive as the turnoff he was talking about, I want to kind of like feign lose control and like bump around as we try to push ourselves off.
That's I was gonna ask. So how close are they following the truck behind us? How close is it and how visible, I guess, are we to them?
They have about a 2 truck length gap between the two of you.
So are we in like direct and obvious view of the?
Yes.
Can I use my telekinetic projectile to drop a load of snow on their windshield?
Oh God, love it.
I like that.
Yeah, I'd say you could.
So would there either lift it up from the ground and throw it as if something weird happened, but the way I understand telekinetic projectile, I can hurl 5 pounds of snow, which is actually quite a bit.
It's a lot of fucking snow.
Yeah. Depending on how
is there a somatic component to this?
Probably.
No.
Components are not.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Then
it is like psychokinetic.
Right.
Yeah, I just make it happen with my brain.
I was gonna see if there'd be like a sleight of hand thing or anything.
Sure.
But no. So how exactly do you want to do this?
So as right before
there's like an overpass coming or overhang.
Yeah. And I'm gonna I want to do it as close to the turnoff as possible. So like something happens so that when snow gets on their windshield and we turn off on the wrong path, and we can like be like, whoa, what was that? If we get stuck or something or get found out.
Okay. As you make your way along, eventually you do see where the path has a turnoff to the right. It's I don't know, a couple 100 feet away, and there does seem to be some nearby snow that you can use at this point. So if my understanding is right when Caesar, or right around the time Caesar goes to make the turn to the right, you're going to try to blind.
Yeah. 1d6 damage to their windshield with snow.
I don't think windshields have a lot of health.
I don't think they do either. Go ahead. In this case, I would say getting access to the snow, not a problem. You have plenty around you. But I will say, is there like a range attack you have to make with this?
Yes.
So go ahead and do that. And there's gonna be a increase in difficulty for doing a targeted area. So like the windshield of this truck.
I don't know.
Should be relatively easy.
How do I roll
if you hit
that?
the magnifying glass looking thing, and then cast. Yeah, that should do it. Oh, if you don't have a target.
it's a save.
Yeah, you have without a target, but their save would have been a 13. It looks like using my save, which is what was that?
Oh, this
what
is
kind of save?
Because the truck doesn't have a will save.
Right.
Let me see.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I used telepathic message. No, here we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
There
17.
It goes.
So
I was gonna say it should be an attack roll, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see how this plays out. So you Caesar's driving along, the turn comes up, and you see the perfect opportunity, Mark. As Caesar goes to make the turn, you can hear from inside the cabin, hey, where are you? And as that conversation going on, you telekinetically reach out and grab how much snow are you throwing? All
5
of it?
pounds, yeah. As much snow as I can carry, yeah.
Arna, you would see just this large, almost like an avalanche kind of, as you go into this overpass, just this huge clump of snow just fall on top of this truck behind you. Immediately, it goes to a stop as the weight of all this snow falling on the windshield and just blinding everything. You hear the sounds of screeches on the brake. The back of the truck whirrs a little bit. After a few moments, it stops as the turn is going on. There is a scuffle going on inside the truck that you are in now currently, as one of the hobgoblin next to Caesar has now reached forward and tried to grab control of the wheel. Stupid droid, we go this way.
I am going to start unloading the guns, but first I'm going to throw Asterisk's box out first.
Wait, hold on. Ow!
No, those are my thing.
In the front,
unloading the guns.
I assume in the front, they
That's a
hear,
problem.
"Oh shit! Oh wait!" But then he like, as he gets his bearings, he looks through the eyes of Caesar through the camera that he has, and he goes,
I am a driving droid. Can I drive that for you?
and he's
You
trying.
can see, are you seeing to Caesar's eyes?
Yes.
Nodding
Right.
tech with
So as you
accidentally
see this,
engaged.
as you go to Caesar's eyes, you have Caesar's got hands on the wheels. You see the one of the hobgoblin next to him is reaching over trying to grab it from him. Caesar is resisting, and then the next thing you see is a splash of red liquid across the lens, as you hear, and the guard that has grabbed a hold of the wheel, his hands go limp, and you hear a voice from behind you go, "Right, let's get these bastards down and get this to the resistance camp pronto."
It's you. Okay, that's easier. You could have said you were part of this whole thing.
That's all coming out of his like voice box.
Yeah, 'cause you're in the snow right now.
They threw me out of the fucking back. I could have had an easier
Mark is
time.
Oh my God.
throwing guns
All of you make
out of the
perception
back of the
checks.
truck
Yeah.
right now.
Oh God, we may all die.
I need perception checks.
Oh dear.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
Solid.
Well, I thought it was. It didn't roll. It looks like.
Mine didn't roll either. I
Mine
got a
didn't roll
16.
either.
I think it all died.
Oh,
Yep,
Kyle might have
died.
Kyle
Kyle
just
just
died.
died. Yep.
Let's all take
Yeah,
a moment of
throw us to
silence
this.
for Kyle in these
Throw us on a
trying
standby.
times.
Yep.
we'll
I'm
come
gonna
right back.
throw us on a standby. We'll be right back. Some technical
Yep. 'Cause it
difficulties,
may
folks.
Perfectly timed
reorganize everyone.
technical difficulty.
Really?
Sorry about that, everybody. Internet issues. We are back, hopefully, for this new exciting revelation that has happened to the crew of the BD514. So they're going to jump right back into it. The perception checks. Everyone remember what they rolled?
No.
You rolled a natural 20. I had a 14 on the die.
I believe
don't
I rolled
know.
an 18 in total.
I was gonna say I
All
didn't
right.
see yours.
Well, as all this chaos and
God I
commotion
fucking
is going
stupid
on,
memory.
all of you hear off in the distance from down below, from the direction that you came from, a sound of blaring alarms and horns. And carried by the wind, you hear the sound of. It sounds like some kind of helicopter or aircraft of some kind booting up.
Do we also hear Fortunate Son? No, sorry.
Floating over the wind.
Right.
Ain't no fortunate son.
I
if
think
anything,
Mark.
sometimes
How many guns has Mark successfully thrown off the back of the truck?
Yeah.
That's
important.
Well, go ahead and make me an athletics check.
Okay.
I think that Arnott's probably
A ton is quite a lot of
It's
goods.
I don't
technically
know how
2
many
tons
boxes.
since we
yeah,
said like
we
48.
do have 2 tons.
Yeah.
Arnott will be doing his best to help, I guess. He's not.
You've been very rapidly and these. I mean, you were loading these crates, so they have to be able to be carried as well. So you have quite a bit of cargo on here. These are essentially like boxes that large enough for like assault rifles and whatnot. They're not everything's put into one box kind of thing.
Right.
So you're about to just throwing box and box off the back of the truck.
Yeah, it's just fast and dirty as possible.
And you can see now the truck behind you, the windshield wipers have come on, and one of the doors has opened up as one of the hobgoblins has stepped out. And you got essentially like the back of a semi. You guys have got this door open up and just throwing boxes onto the highway.
Oops.
You see one of them reach down and grab a radio from his belt and begins shouting into it.
Ooh,
The other one
days.
begins firing.
Arnott would like to use days on the one with the radio. As he pulls that out, I would like to. Yeah, actually, shit. Can I use the remote operation one instead and try and just turn it off? The remote operation. It's a spell that lets me like basically put a control device to. I'll read it here in a second. But if I can cast a spell, regardless, I guess is the goal. Remote operation is. Can I link it? Whatever.
Regardless, at this point, since
Not
someone
enough
has
time.
initiated a fire against you, I need everybody to roll initiative.
Gotcha.
All right.
I will have it figured out by my turn.
9.
A
Where's my
15.
initiative?
All right.
I have a plus to mine. What the fuck?
Woo!
Nice.
Of course I go first. Or well, of us anyway. Okie doke.
All right. So the first things first.
Okay.
Mark, what is your kinetic AC?
My kinetic AC is
KAC.
KAC is 11.
11.
Not great.
Not great. Luckily, though, because of the situation, you've left him kind of in a state of unpreparedness. And as the soldier steps out, he's doing it all in one motion. You hear the rat-a-tat-tat of the assault rifle going off, but the shots go wild, and you can hear it like pinging off the nearby rock face and the metal of the truck bed, but none hit you. The days, well, we'll get to that when you get to your turn. So after that, it looks like actually, Arnott, are you up first? Yeah, it is your
I'm
turn.
up
Arnott, you're up. Yeah.
So the way remote operation works, it has to target a computer or vehicle out to a short distance, 60 feet. But if his like communication device counts as a computer, I would be able to target it with that. But I guess I don't know if I know that before I cast the spell.
I would say it would work. Yeah.
Okie doke. Then he will, as with his standard action, he's gonna cast remote operation and sort of, holographic duplicate of his communication device appears in Arnott's hand, and he's just going to turn it off. If that's like something that he can do with the rest of his turn here.
Okay, yeah, if you
I'm
want to
not
use your
sure how
turn
much, like swift action or whatever.
Yeah. If you want to use your turn to successfully prevent him from making contact with whoever he's trying to contact on this turn, absolutely, you can do that with that ability.
Righty. Then I will do that, and then I guess he's probably gonna pull his tactical pistol and then like get behind a wall. I don't know if I have the actions to do that, but he'll move behind a wall into some sort of cover if possible, the edge of the truck if he can, whatever.
Yeah, well, are you all still on? The truck is moving. You're all still on it, right? With the exception of Aster.
We're still driving?
Yeah, the truck's still going.
Yeah. Our truck is still moving.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not realize that. Then yes, I assume we are still on the truck.
Which
but he's just going to get out of the way of the opening. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I figured we stopped when
Yeah.
the Caesar event occurred.
Oh
but
yeah,
I didn't actually.
Caesar would absolutely stop the truck if I was thrown off.
Okay.
100%. Because I am Caesar, and I would stop the truck
All right.
from
Well,
going
at this
away
point,
from me.
before we continue, then Arnott and Mark, go ahead and make me it's not dexterity saving, reflex save.
Reflex.
Oh yes. Ooh.
You manage to both grab onto something tightly as Caesar slams on the brake, and the truck just starts to swerve. The truck bed, being much longer and attached only by 1 point, begins to pivot wildly. Several boxes begin to fall out of the back of the truck.
This is
but
much
the two
more
of you
efficient.
manage to hold on as the truck slows to a crawl. The truck bed veers widely to the right, and for a moment, the backside, all you see is open air as the length of the backside just goes out over the top of this trail.
Cover.
And then swerves back and stops to a crawls to a stop right there on the right at the intersection as the roads veer to either direction.
Gotcha.
Now we're on to you, Mark.
Everyone back. Everyone alive? Is that fine?
Yes.
Well, you're not technically alive, but like everyone's still here.
Sure, yes. Barely not crushed by several boxes.
I am going to stand up. So if I imagine this right, can I stand up on top of the truck?
You can manage to climb up to the top. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna climb to the top and make just find the hobgoblin with the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to use my telekinetic throw to throw the radio at him.
Wait, what?
So he's got in his hand, and I'm going to use it just basically
like hit him in the face with it.
Bash him in the face and deal a d6 to him and the radio. I'm basically
All right,
going to
I'll
try to the radio with his face.
Okay.
That is Unga Bunga Barbarian efficiency. That's what that is.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
What better than to break the radio with a man's face?
Oh. Unfortunately, you feel him resist against it, and his hand finally gives, and he moves his head in time, and it dodges.
That's still good. How far away does it land from him?
Oh, yeah. You're pulling. You're actually throwing it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm like throwing it at his face. Yeah.
Yeah. So it throws out of his hand and smashes into the rock face into bits and pieces.
All right.
I'll take that regardless. That's what's up.
Anything else?
Death brought Alexander of Macedon and his stable boy to the same end.
All right.
That's not applicable.
I mean, it
With
kind
that,
of is.
You all hear in the distance the sound of what appears to be some kind of copter of some kind. The whirring of wind and blade get louder. Something is coming. The hobgoblin that you just knocked the radio out of his hand reaches down and pulls out a pistol from his belt, points it at you, Mark, and goes to fire. Let's see here.
This is
27.
what they do. That hits.
Yeah.
Does it?
Sure.
You want to double check?
I mean, you better be safe, right? It's
All
possible
right.
you have that.
You might have a
28
crazy.
KAC when the fucking like 12 hit last time.
So you take 7 points of damage.
I have been injured.
As this beam of laser energy comes out of this pistol and sears right through your body. It leaves a gaping hole in your torso area.
Right through the ashtray that I fixed him with.
It seems to be a concentrated beam of very hot energy. And yeah, the remainder of his turn, he is going to then try to duck behind the back side of the truck, the side that's facing between the truck and the cliff wall. The other one points at you now, Arnott, and fires as well. 16?
Sure does. Unless he gets any sort of benefit. He was trying to get behind some
This is
sort
against
of
your
cover. I'm not sure how.
EAC, by the way.
It's 13 is the number if he doesn't get any cover benefits.
All right. So, and actually, something I forgot to do that's not a critical. Never mind. You're good for now.
Well, that's good.
That's disconcerting at best.
Luckily, this one doesn't penetrate you too badly. You managed to block a good bit of it, but your lower, right above your kneecap, you feel a searing pain as you get nicked just by a bit of this laser coming by. It strikes a box nearby and it begins to burn.
Well, that's unfortunate. How much does it damage-wise?
2 points of damage.
Oh, not so bad.
I have been
you also both hear behind you the sound of the truck door, or the passenger truck door opening up, and the other remaining hobgoblin steps out and begins rushing around to the back side of the truck. This one is the one that was holding the shotgun. Whirls around to the back of the truck, and the first person that I see is going to be you, Arnott, unfortunately. And is going to fire at you as well.
Wait, which one?
Wait, is this the one in our
Who's
truck?
this?
Yes.
I thought that was the
Wasn't
dwarf.
that the dwarf?
Yeah, because he killed the.
Yeah, he
Didn't he
killed
kill
the other guy.
Or is that not what happened?
He jumped from. He was also in the truck hiding. So there were still two hobgoblins, but there was one more.
Oh,
Yeah, he was hiding.
Okay. He wasn't pretending to be one of the hobgoblins.
No.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll get to him in a minute.
If he got out, would Caesar have a chance to shoot him as he's getting out of the truck?
Ooh, or punch or something.
Does Caesar go on your turn?
Well, opportunity attack.
Opportunity attack?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll take that. Let's go with a shotgun. Yeah, I would like to gulch gun him as he tries to hop out the passenger.
Oh my god.
All right, go for it.
I'm going to give you a gulch.
14.
14. Let's see if that hits.
Versus EAC.
A 14 does hit.
Here we go. Murder. That's
2.
That's not a lot of damage.
2 fire damage.
Good to know. All right. And with that, we come to your turn, Asterix, as you've been tossed out and have tumbled several times on the road here. You are
Not
still.
that I want to argue for more damage. I think I got shot without actually getting shot, potentially, again. He said he came around the corner with the shotgun, and then we got...
Oh, you got shot. You got shot by the guy in the other truck. There were two
that
in the
happened
other
first,
truck.
but then this guy who got out to
right.
provoke that opportunity attack, he was coming around to shoot me.
You're right. Thank you for being honest. In that case,
may very well die as a result. So that's, it's a good lesson for all you kids out there.
Honesty kills.
Honesty never pays.
Does a 12 hit you?
It does not.
All right.
Honesty pays.
Fuck yeah.
So the damage he took,
number.
it happened to get him right in his arm, his aiming arm. So as he comes around, he's a little off a bit, and you manage to avoid the shotgun blast. Aster, now you are up.
Okay.
You are in a box that has been riveted shut.
I am trapped in a box. You could say I am a man in a box. Alice in Chains. He's probably fumbling around trying to like figure out what to do with himself. He's seeing if he can aim out one of the eye holes, but he can't because his fucking gun won't go through it. It will work. It might work. It won't work. It might work. It won't work. Okay.
It's really hard to aim, probably too, because like the barrel would take
Yeah.
up the hole that you're poking out.
Well,
of,
no,
so
I
it's
aim and then I look through the other hole.
right, but you
far
gotta
away.
still kind of like guess, basically.
Oh my
to,
god.
like, line up the shot.
He'll like drop the gun and he'll open up his data pad on his augmetic arm, and he'll look through Caesar's eyes and he'll start controlling Caesar, and Caesar will hop out following the guy who ran around the back of the truck, and he'll take another shot at him.
All right, go for it.
Natural 1.
Oh man, unfortunately.
Does a 3 hit?
Does a 3 hit? EAC in particular?
Does he have an EAC of 2?
Perhaps.
By any chance.
Is he crippled for some reason? Is he in a wheelchair? Did he hop out?
Not even sure a 3 would do it.
No, wheelchairs are pretty strong, I
No.
assume.
Oh no.
Oh no, did we lose Kyle again?
Did we lose
I
him
think we
again?
lost Kyle again.
That
Yeah.
storm's acting up.
Well-
Hit the standby. Do we want to?
Yeah, I think we're already 11:42. So unless he comes back while we're giving our goodbye speech, I think we might ought to call it there because we're gonna.
Probably have
Yeah.
to pause.
It's damn
That's a
thunderstorms,
shame.
but
Yeah.
also it's a good cliffhanger.
Right? All right, guys. Well, thank you. We're a little bit goofed on the OBS now because he left Zoom. But thank you guys very much for being here. Sorry that it got spotty there at the end, but, technology is just kind of, a crapshoot sometimes.
Thunder's a bitch.
Thunder is a bitch. Oh,
Oh.
wait. Nope, he's back.
Ooh, he
Look
might
at
be
that.
coming back.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Don't
Am I here?
don't think
You're
about
here.
anything else that
Okay.
just happened.
All right.
There we
Don't worry,
go.
I know we're short on time, but we're gonna end on an epic conclusion here because I can't guarantee my internet's gonna be good for the rest of this.
Right.
So at the end of your turn, you missed, or
I
with
super
Caesar.
missed. Very hard.
But quickly behind Caesar, you see, only Caesar can see, the now now bloodied and hollow disguised dwarf from earlier, who now comes running forward and does a running leap off the back, just kicks off back of Caesar and comes down onto this hobgoblin
Hey,
with
that's expensive.
with like this vibro blade sword of some kind. And the hobgoblin, it gets him right in the neck. And the hobgoblin, you see a spurt of blood, and he drops to the ground. We're now at the back of the turn order. Mark, you're back. Sorry, Arnott, we're back to you.
Alrighty. Give me just a moment here. I'm trying to log back in. But
But memorize what
be-
your character could do already?
Right?
I'm pretty sure he's gonna be doing a daze on, one of the two. Actually, probably the guy who just turned the corner with the gulch gun on him, which is a will save. I think my save's 13, but I have to look.
Okay.
Is that guy dead? The guy with the blade in his neck.
Oh, I guess
Gold
yeah.
gun
If he,
man
Yeah.
dead.
Hold on, actually, roll the damage first. I
sure.
forgot to roll that. He's barely alive. He's still up though.
Okay. Then I probably won't actually be dazing him. Yeah, I'll daze the guy who shot at Arnott first then. Instead. If he's like looking, I forgot that was the person he jumped down on. Dang, man, it's taking its time trying to connect.
I got in there.
Yeah, I think
am
my
in.
internet's just acting a fool, probably.
Oh, not yours too.
My
I can make.
goodness.
You want me to make the roll for you?
Yeah, if you could, it's daze it's one of my cantrips. It should be the first one on the list, I think. And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 13, but I don't remember for sure what the save is.
All right, not a problem.
Or a 0 level. I'm not sure if there's called cantrips in this.
Yeah, with that roll,
22?
Yeah, 22.
Probably saves.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't make a roll. They make a save. You're saying that's what it is. Never mind.
Oh wait, that was on Mark. Shit. My bad.
Oh.
Mark
just
has
roll-
good saves.
All right, so it's just a will save, right?
It should just be a will save, yes.
All right, that's a natural 1.
So that works. They are unable to take actions, but their AC isn't reduced from what I remember of days.
That's a crazy cantrip.
Yeah, that is.
It's CR3 or lower, so if he's over CR3, it doesn't do anything.
And that's on the one that just come around the corner? Or the
That
one
is
that,
actually the one who
one
shot
that
him
shot.
first.
Okay.
From the truck, yeah.
From
Sure,
the
not a
truck.
problem.
Next to the guy that
Behind us.
almost got his face
I
smashed
don't
by
know
a
why
radio.
it's having so much trouble here. Right.
All right. Anything else?
No. I
right, Mark,
believe
back to you.
that he will. That's it.
All right. He is going to. So how far away is the goblin that is almost dead? That was in the truck cab with us.
Like 5 feet away.
Okay, I'm gonna just take a step forward to him, and I'm going to put my hand on his head. I'm going to go. You are become aware, and I'm going to use mind thrust on him.
All right. Will
Aster
save?
shivers in the box a little bit.
Yes, it is a will saving throw. Yep.
What's the DC?
The DC is 14.
All right, he rolled a 13.
Nice. Okay. So that is 2d.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
6 damage.
Good luck knowing what your lungs are saying.
As you put your hand on his head, you see his eyes go wide. A look of fear, distraught, anger, all the emotions flood into him. His hands go up to his head. He drops the weapon. He starts like just moaning and muttering to himself. He's like, I can't take it. I can't take it. And he turns and then runs off the cliff.
Wait, that is. Oh.
You are injured.
Not yet.
Seek
technically.
immediately medical attention. you
That's the
will
landing.
expire without proper medical attention in 5, 4,
That's a long
3,
fall.
2. Oh no, he fell already. This is the time it's taking him to bleed out.
Oh, don't take. No, that makes
Exsanguinate.
sense. Yeah, absolutely.
He has a broken femur.
Oh, jeez.
Open this fucking box already, man.
All right, anything else you want to do in your turn?
I am going to open the box that Asterisk is in, if that is possible. If not, I'll walk over to it and just comment about his trapped nature.
I would say, with what you have remaining, you can go there and pick the box up.
I will go over there and pick the box up,
yeah,
directing
and then-
it towards one of the remaining hobgoblin.
All right, the one remaining. Well, there's
Yep.
2 remaining. I do believe, right?
Oh yes, you're
Yes.
right. Yep.
And one of them is dazed. As you're walking
That's
forward,
right.
you need to get to where Astra is at. You pick up the box. Just as from around the bend, you see a large intercopter coming around with a large mounted Gatling gun on the front, so to speak. It begins firing. They could make a reflex save.
At us?
How capable is he of making a reflex save in a box?
This is mostly for.
He has a 20. It's
nat
mine.
20.
Technically, that's my save.
Yep.
That's a good point.
You
I can't
just,
make the roll.
You
I
managed,
don't know why. I'm
you
not
managed
able to log that in.
to take in all this information at once as you grab a hold of the box. Just as this truck comes around, or this copter comes around, you notice at first, or immediately, that it's not pointed at you per se, because it doesn't really know. You gather from this, there's not a whole lot of information being shared here. The truck that was not carrying you guys, it begins loading into that, and the reflex save is you jumping back as there's a huge fireball as that truck explodes. There is one reflex save for the one hobgoblin, one for the other. One succeeds, one fails.
You're gonna have to roll
You
for.
see one of
higher as
them
well if it's
just
not
get blown off the cliff with,
I don't think you're close
the
enough.
kinetic energy of this explosion. The other one is engulfed in flames and takes some significant amount of damage. You hear from behind you guys, "You've got to get back in the truck now. We got to go. Go. Get in."
Get away from the
man.
chopper.
Arnott's like, I'm in.
Effectively, combat at this point is done since the one remaining guy is on fire and dazed.
He's
There's
probably
an
fine.
exploded truck. What do you guys want to do? As this dwarf is, "Come on, they got to go. Let's go."
Yeah. Mark
I would like to be in the box.
Yeah, Mark is hauling ass with the box, and he's gonna just throw the box into the back of the truck and then jump in after it.
Yeah. Caesar's gonna run up to the front and start.
My things.
As you all, Caesar hits the gas, and the truck begins to swerve violently as Mark grabs Mark and Arnott grab onto the back and load themselves up as the truck is swerving. It seems that the intercopter is beginning to load up for another fire as the truck speeds off in the direction towards the resistance camp, and that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Nice.
I don't know if it's about like good time, but I personally was never taught how to drive a truck. Caesar, I didn't. He doesn't know either.
What?
This is new for me.
Are you telling me that
Well,
you're...
those certifications aren't real. I told you I'm a fucking plumber. That's also not real.
I cannot believe this. You lied on official company documents.
Weird, fucking weird that would happen.
And then told me about it. Just like Hudson
Sorry,
sits
boss. I
down
mean,
in the
what I
back.
meant to say was sorry, boss.
Reflect on how much is happening at any given moment in the mental and physical part of each individual, and you will not wonder at how much more is happening within the same sliver of time in that one boundless whole we call the universe.
Right. Do you feel better after you said that? Does that make you feel better?
No.
Right, you'll just run off a cliff like that. Poor cop.
Yeah, it's fishtailing the hardest you've ever seen.
Oh, it's bad.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight for the Disastronauts. We do this every other Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Our next stream scheduled is on Friday for the misadventures of the Accidental Travelers. Find out if they're going to have to kill another party member to lift a curse. We also run Old for Gold on Mondays at 9:30 as well. The three of us, minus Kyle up there, are in that as well with our good friend Shady. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us. If you really enjoyed what you saw, you can join our Discord where the conversation continues. You can log onto our website and buy some merchandise. We have like cool shirts like this. And you can also log on to our Patreon and throw us a couple bucks to make this and our other shows even more awesome. So
No
thank you.
OnlyFans yet, but we're working on it.
We're working on it. All right, we got some calendar DM calendars, you know, where all the DM from
Been
Irrational Radio.
fucking pushing
You can
that
see
for
1/4
years.
of my thigh. On
Right? Ooh, scandalous.
That's November.
All of us laying in a pile of dice.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want.
All right.
Scandalous
Well,
class,
not
new
necessarily.
yet.
Well,
No,
all
no,
together is like
tastefully.
December.
Yeah,
but,
right, yeah.
You know, it's
Socially
each month.
distancing 6 feet away.
Right, yes.
Exactly.
All right, guys, thank you so much, and we will be back in 2 weeks. Goodbye.